That would be it.
Welcome back to Midwest eSports Formula One. Tonight we're in Division 1 in Brazil, one of our favorite racetracks for Midwest. We've seen quite a few very entertaining races here, and I can't wait to see what we have tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, last minute switch from, I believe we were, D2? Originally scheduled for D2 tonight, but Hotspot is living a dream right now up in Hartford. So enjoy yourself, and thanks for getting us the bump for Interlagos. Like Mitch said, one of the most exciting moments of Midwest history here on Nick and Mitch happened right here on the start-finish straight just one season ago, where Gott Palmer was able to get by Ryan's Ferrari in the last strip. I mean, the last 50 feet of track before the checkered flag to claim a first place victory. So this is it's a wonderful track where I believe we have cars getting on track here fairly soon for qualifying. But this is a wonderful track, so much to offer for the drivers. A lot of precision moments here, a lot of high-speed corners, but also a lot of overtaking opportunities. So this one really offers it all.
Yeah, I think we've done Division 1 twice here at the track. Both times we've had drivers win at the last second. We have quite a long stretch from the DRS to crossing the finish line and the checkered flag. Just crossing right now. We have someone starting their first lap, so we can check on board too. I think 3 DRS zones on this track. Yeah,
we'll be able to confirm that in the map during the race intro. I didn't do that. Well, I can actually hang on. Just give me 1 second here. Wait for
I know there's the one going through the finish line, and then you get one after turn 3, I believe.
Yeah, so we do have, it's only 2 DRS zones. You get one engaged in turn 15 across the start-finish straight into turn 1, throws you into that wicked, I believe that is the Senna S right there, turns 1 and 2. Then you come down the sweeping left-hander of turn 3, and that back straight between 3 and 4 down in the valley, you're going to hit that second DRS zone. And then you get all into the squiggly bits through 6 through 14, and then it's back onto the straights. So yeah, 2 massive bookends separated by just 3 turns. So a massive speed stretch for more than half of this track. Cars are going to absolutely be flying as we are here on board with an AlphaTauri, giving us that look through turn 3 here, and then boom, back onto the DRS. Back wing wide open, full out into turn 4. You're going to careen left into a lazy left in 5. Coming out through a sweeping right, 6 into 7. And then it gets dicey. Throw the brakes on into turn 8, whip it around down through 9. 9's going to take you down into the valley, and then you're going to work your way back up the hill, 11 through 14. Going to be clawing back up in elevation. This is actually one of the most undulating tracks on the calendar. The elevation changes here are greater than pretty much all of the other tracks on the calendar. So drivers doing a lot of uphill, downhill fighting today, and cornering after one of those, after a downhill section, obviously wears the tires a wee bit more. But this is one of the tracks. This is one of everybody's favorite Formula tracks, period. So I'm pretty confident that all of these drivers have their build out, their car set up perfected. This is a track that is on everyone's repeat list for practice sessions.
I've seen some drivers love it, some don't. I feel like it is more favored than it is not. I know. It's just one of those tracks. I do remember we had some issues with the pit exit, I believe, and people almost going into the walls in one of the races. It catches up on you, especially if there is any sort of rain on the track. But so far it looks nice and sunny here in Brazil. And we have got Palmer currently on top, pole position of 107.808. Got 12 and a half minutes, though. I think people are out there just testing the track, and then we'll be seeing some very quick lap times coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, again, got Palmer on top of the times right now, was the winner of that first time that we were in Brazil with MidWest eSports for that last-minute victory. So this is definitely one of the favorites for Got Palmer. I don't know about the rest of the grid, but that Alpine is quite at home in South America. We are on board now with Sui in the Aston Martin, down in 18th, currently has yet to set a time. We'll see what he comes away with once he crests this hill, heads down the straight. Here we go. We're going to get a time for the first of two Aston Martins. Scarenzi doing what Scarenzi do and waiting out the first half almost of the qualifying session. Sui is going to be able to claim 6th place on their initial run.
It's a good jump up on the grid for Aston Martin. Scarenzi, we'll see when he decides to finally put some times on this track. I feel like he's done fairly well in both of the races we've witnessed here. I think he challenged or held the lead in that first one until Got Palmer in the last lap overtook in the Senna S and then took the lead.
Yeah, I believe I was trying to watch, and both of those races were a month apart, so it was very difficult to tell which one came first for me. But yeah, one of them was Got Palmer and Ryan Rods. That's the one and only time I'll say that name. But then the other was Scarenzi and somebody else.
Is it Edwin?
Yes, it was GSR Edwin and Scarenzi, and it was Ferrari and Got Palmer. Those were the two that were battling it out. Tinel up into second place with a 108.168. But yeah, Scarenzi has definitely had his moments on this track as well. I believe in the Got Palmer race, he also fell back in the pack a bit and made up some spots. I believe like 4 or 5. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, Scarenzi definitely going to be a threat here once we see a time placed, yet still in the pits. Chuck Blazin is on an out lap along with Max Scavney and GSR Edwin. We're on board now with Travis Scott as he makes his way through traffic into Sector 3 here in just a second.
He also had quite a brilliant accident. I think in the second race we had here, around the second DRS zone, where a car tried to split the middle of 2 going 3 wide and just caused absolute destruction for all 3 cars. I think we caught like from the far angle further down the track, looking back towards the racers, just see cars all veer off track and collide into each other.
We do have a few driver substitutions tonight. AlphaTauri, Mitch Burns is not in attendance. In is Scavney. And for McLaren, race day will be out tonight. In goes Lancy. We also had a last-minute exit from Mackey, so we will not be seeing NLR Mackey, Joe Workingman, Mackey Marquis, and what was the one that he had last week? Whatever it was, he will not be joining us here in Brazil tonight. So 19 cars on the track, 2 substitute drivers, and 1 MIA. is what we are looking at here. Just under 9 minutes to go in Q1 and only. It has still got Palmer in the Alpine atop the pack. Chuck Blazin, his teammate, going to try and best that. Could we see an Alpine 1-2 to start off today's grid?
We'll see. I mean, with Mackie Marquis out of the race, that takes away one of the people in the top. Alpine looking pretty good. They're pulling away in the Constructors' Cup. They're almost 60 points up on Williams.
Wow.
And Aston Martin dropped to third in week 6, so we were off for the last 2 weeks, right? Last week, but the scores we haven't had. This is 2 weeks new of scores.
Right. Yeah. Correct. Yeah, that is. They are definitely starting to pull away from the pack there in Constructors. We're going to see that nifty little graphic pop up here in just a bit before we start the race. Thank you, Mitch, for putting that one together. It looks like Chuck Blazin was not able to best his teammate, but his 108.3 will keep him cemented in third for now.
Looks like MMR Cynical just improved a bit too, so he's jumped up into fourth. Scarenzi's on an outlap, so he will be prepping here soon to set his first time of the race.
Do we have live chat active tonight?
For our live chat?
For our side. I just want to make sure we can see it.
Looks like we have one message retracted.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for it, and I just didn't see it pop up on the stream deck. That's
I wonder if that won't pop up on this side. I've had the messages not show up there before, so I'll check again.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, there it is. What did you say to start? Good evening.
I bet it was good morning. Can jump on board with Scarenzi too, setting the fastest Sector 1, it looks like, if the game is giving us the correct information. So already out there flying in the Aston Martin. We'll see if he can just one and done jump all the way up to the top. He's been in the league for a long time, and this being such a historic track, I'm sure he knows it very, very well.
Yeah, one of the longest tenured drivers for sure. I believe he still sits as one of the most podium placed drivers in the league's history. And of that, like, I think it was something ridiculous. Like, out of 150 races, 130 of them he was on the podium, or something of that magnitude. So yeah, definitely has seen some wonderful moments here in Brazil. He goes across the line. It's a 107.933. That is still not enough to get past Scott Palmer, but that was his first that was his first hot lap of the day. So to make up a 10th and some change here in a third lap, still just over 5 minutes to go. Scarenzi not out of the hunt for first place, but sitting on the front row definitely has his advantage as well. Do we know who has the advantage in turn one? Like where first place is? If they're on the inside or the out?
I guess we'll check whenever we cross the finish line again. I want to say two's on the outside on this track. Is that what you said, or did we just go opposite of each other?
No, I wasn't sure which place, which grid position first place started in. I just said turn 1 is a left.
Oh, this is way too fast for me to actually judge.
Yeah. What'd you see there, Mitch?
I saw roughly 20 grid spots.
Let me see.
I believe first almost always was the inside.
Grid formation. Yeah, does it change or is it static? I never stopped.
I'm not
to
confident enough
that.
to commit to that.
Right. Well, we'll keep an eye out here. But regardless, it is a left.
What's a left?
Turn 1.
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah, so. I would...
or does one get the outside?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I want the inside.
I think one gets the
outside so they can swing the delta into
yes,
one.
Two I'm just thinking when I race in iRacing, I usually like the even numbers because of the inside, and I always just desperately hug the inside so that I don't get wiped out by people behind me. So I think the hits are on the outside.
Gotcha. Only 3 drivers out on track right now, waiting for it to clear as almost the entire grid heads in for some tweaks, some tire swaps, and maybe you jump from the mediums to the softs here to try and set your best in the final 3 minutes. But we're going to slowly see drivers trickle back out onto the track. Yeah, I think for Scarenzi's purposes, I don't think that's a bad thing to be, if second place is on the inside of a left-hand turn, Scarenzi gets the better jump off of the start, he may be able to just box out Gott Palmer down the straight into turn 1. So that could be an absolute dogfight from 2 absolute pros up atop this grid. Provisionally, Gott Palmer and Scarenzi blocking out the front row. We'll see
Either
if
way,
they can hold that for 3 minutes.
This one is fun because it is an immediate S turn. So we saw that in the real life race last year where Fernando was behind Checo going into that, and Fernando was on the inside of turn 1, but that gave him the better outside the turn 2 to then carry more speed into that straight and do the overtake. So as long as he times that right, he might have a little bit better of an exit. If he can kind of squeak onto the inside in turn 1, then he'll be looking pretty for the exit.
Only time will tell. Would you take, so we have 2 very iconic tracks that start with an S, like a chicane. Would you go for the slight uphill into a downhill section of Brazil, or would you go Circuit of the Americas up the hill through that huge left into the right down through the straight?
Oh, I thought you were going to go Monza with the S.
Ooh,
and that immediately was going to be a no.
No, that one's a groaner every time. I do not.
I think
enjoy
this
that
track,
one.
this one's really a really smooth drive.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. Yeah. This is one of the pure tracks like Suzuka, that have just stood the test of time. And even as the cars get bigger, of course, it gets more difficult. Overtaking spots shrink, but this one still has provided exciting races. You take it over to like Barcelona and it's a snooze fest because that track is just, it's too tight for these cars now. We have 2 McLarens going side by side. Lancey pulling some fancy footwork out to just sneak ahead of his teammate there, Tinel. Or sorry, that was Tinel getting ahead of Lancey.
Yeah, I think Lancey was finishing his lap and wanted, I think they timed it so that Tinel could get the slip on that straight and gain a few tenths of a second. We'll see if that plays into his favor. Doesn't look like that's a caution. It's hard to decipher this map sometimes. I think based on that, he's improved his time in Sector 1, but it isn't the fastest out there.
It did not look malicious. They were fighting. It looked like a team strategy, but it's still scary to get that close and to have that kind of aggressive overtake, even if it is planned and understood during qualifying before the cars even out there during the race. So we'll see if it pays off here. We are on board with Tinel. They come into turn 14. DRS is active. 3, 2, 1. Hit the juice. Here we go. What can Tinel do with that bit of slipstream assistance from his teammate? Tinel goes second fastest with a 107.856. It's an Alpine McLaren. Aston Martin first, top 3.
That was so fast out there. Looks like Gott Palmer is improving on his time, though. Scarenzi, about half of a hundredth of a second. I think I was reading that right, or half of a tenth. That's not going to be enough unless he can pull it off here in the final straight, but doesn't have anyone to slipstream off of. No.
Heroic attempt from Scarenzi, but he will start in the second row here in Brazil. Gott Palmer, Tinel have yet to throw the checkered flag. There we go. Gott Palmer getting the fastest lap on the final one with a 107.679. Almost said 5. That's not how numbers.
Travis Scott's jumped all the way up to 10th. Looks like that was a couple positions. I think that's going to be it. Tino 22 seconds down going into sector 3. I don't think he's making that one up.
Yeah. So it is still technically provisional, but as these final drivers make their way across the line into the pit lane, we are looking at the provisional grid order for today's race. Week 8 of Season 12. We'll see Gott Palmer in first, followed by T-Nell, Scarenzi, and GSR Edwin in the second row. And then T-Nell's teammate, Lancey, is accompanied by Mac in row 3. It trickles down from there, but we are definitely in for a treat. Again, week 8 from Brazil, Division 1 action. Let's take a look at the confirmed standings. There they are, and here they go. Racing action is up next, right here on Nick and Mitch. Hola from Brazil. It's week 8 and we are finally back in Interlagos. Last time the pack ripped through this legendary circuit, we were treated to the season's most exhilarating moment as Gott Palmer closed 3/10, just inches from the checkered flag for the win. And honestly, with how this season has been going, I wouldn't be surprised if we were treated to an equally thrilling moment tonight. Clocking in at a challenging 2.7 miles, the 15 turns of Interlagos throw a healthy mix of high-speed corners and tight hairpins at the pack. Don't be fooled by the straights, though. Overtaking opportunities are there, but they require precision and bravery. One wrong move, and you'll be singing the samba from the gravel trap. Before we get to the standings, I do need to say that today's championship recap is brought to you by Pork Chops. Little love for Kamish, because damn it, he deserves it. Mitch?
Well, we have been away from the points for 2 weeks and have some interesting updates to look at. You can see Scarenzi dropping down into 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. No podiums for him in week 6 or week 7. Meanwhile, Mackie Marquis / Joe Workingman / whatever else you want to call him has taken home back-to-back wins. He is in 2nd place, closing in on Gott Palmer. Going over to the Constructors' Cup. We still haven't seen much of a change at the top with Alpine still in 1st, but Williams is closing the gap. Aston Martin has dropped to 3rd, Ferrari in 4th, and then all of the other teams have shaken up quite a bit. That gap is closing dramatically, so we'll see if we can get more of these changes today. We do have both race day from McLaren and Mackie Joe Workingman out tonight, so we can expect some of these points to change.
Let's go racing. Lights Out is next. From Sao Paulo, this is Midwest eSports Formula 1 Division 1 on Nick and Mitch.
And just taking a look at the driver roster, this is the official drivers for the teams right now, but we do have some substitutions tonight. Like I mentioned, race day is not in for Ferrari, correct? McLaren, sorry, that was last season. And Joe Workingman not racing, so Williams is down to 1 driver. I believe there were 1 or 2 others.
Yeah, those drivers again. Sorry, Mitch Burns is out, and where are my pin messages? Mitch Burns is out for AlphaTauri, and race day is out for McLaren. Mackie also out for Williams. So Williams will be running 1 car, the only team here tonight that will just be running 1 machine on the grid. All of the other seats have been filled. AlphaTauri by Scavney and McLaren by Lancey. So definite, veteran names here in Division 1. They are no strangers to the drivers, the competition that is out there with them. So we are going to be in for quite a running of cars here today as they make their way through the formation lap back to the grid. And we'll be able to see where first and second place officially line up here in South America, and whether or not that is consistent throughout the have you searched that at all while I've been riffing? Or
searched what?
No, the grid formation, if it stays constant or not. You don't have to.
I still haven't fully looked
Beautiful.
at that. I was going to say this race is important for Aston Martin. They have dropped into third, but Joe Workingman being out of the race, that team is in second. Aston has had, like I mentioned, Scarenzi in fourth or below, so not on the podium the past two races, and Sui down near the bottom. So this one will be crucial for them if they want to continue fighting for the Constructors' Cup.
There we go. It looks like Gott Palmer will be starting on the outside of turn one. Turn one is a left-hander into a chicane to throw you down into the basin of 3 and the straight of in between turns 3 and 4. So it is all-out action here at the start. We are ready to get underway. Maybe. Bueller. I don't see the lights. This camera angle doesn't have the lights. And we're away! Week 8 of Season 12, Division 1, Formula 1 action. Right here on Nick and Mitch. Gott Palmer getting an early advantage there on Tinel, able to make it through turn 1 and 2 unscathed, getting a slight interval between him and the pack. We had a bit of movement there. Callie Robb and Chuck Blazing going back and forth as our tire strategies are on screen now. Looking like a pretty simple one-stopper, pending any tomfoolery here through the race. Cynical there getting above VTEC for 9th place. Gott Palmer able to get out cleanly and has held pretty firmly a 3/4 lead on Tinel. Scarenzi, a bit of a bobble there off of the start, but he has also stayed in third.
Looks like the Plums has dropped 5 positions on the start.
Wow.
And a couple changes, but we do have a caution flag. Mac dropping down into 19th.
Decided to pick up that lawn seat that he accidentally ordered. Making the most out of his money there. Taking a bit to enjoy the landscaping. But Mac will be bruised there from that spin out, that early spin out in lap 1. Gott Palmer sets fastest lap. Scarenzi makes it past Tinel. No DRS needed. We just needed the back straight. Scarenzi gets the better line, gets past the McLaren in just the second lap. GSR Edwin also getting past the McLaren. Though both of those teammates are now 4th and 5th. I'm sorry. It's a battle. Tinel and GSR Edwin trading spots. Tinel getting back above the Mercedes.
They are fighting through those corners. Scarenzi 1.5 seconds back on Gott Palmer, so DRS again might not be an issue. I don't think we've checked the tires though yet. Edwin's going to go on hard, and Caesar as well. So Mercedes trying to last the longest out there on the track on the first stint, and then decent spread between medium and soft. Top 3 all on mediums.
Yeah, a lot of strategies that we are going to see play out, and someone in this mix out of 19 cars has the right one.
Yeah,
Your face is exactly what my brain was saying as well.
Yep.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Yeah, there we go. We're back at 5th as Lancey is being closely hunted by Callie Robb. Callie Robb may try to make a move here on the outside. He does not have it just yet. Gonna wait for DRS to enable. We make our way down into the back straight. Nothing just yet. Callie Robb definitely keeping a close watch there on the McLaren. Definitely has the speed. Big lockup from GSR Edwin in front.
It's all again also getting a little bit of a network thing where the cars were drifting sideways. Also, it does look like in most cases the drivers have the outside pole position,
Okay.
but it does depend on which would technically give the fastest driving line.
Okay.
So I think
first
there's a
just
few
goes-
exceptions, but
Okay.
typically the outside's the faster because it's quickest to get onto the driving line.
Right. Well, right there, he didn't need the outside line. Callie Robb taking the inside through turn 15 down the straight is able to get past the McLaren of Lancy. Ferrari now up into 5th. That was very clean. That was the turn that we saw Gott Palmer with that legendary overtake in the final lap just a season ago. Something magical if you hit turn 14 and 15 perfectly with the Delta. You just slingshot through that straight across the line. Most cases, you don't need DRS. It's just going to carry you just by as it is. That's 2 dangerous turns to get perfectly right.
It's one of those roller coaster rides, it almost feels like. You try to jump
Absolutely.
on board with someone when we get to that point. See, who do we think's going to time this one just right? It's like Cynical's closing in.
It looks about the same gap that Callie had on the McLaren.
They also tend to dive very close to the pit lane. They usually straddle it too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pick up a penalty if you cut a little too close on the inside. I don't know what the official sense is. I think it is having all 4 wheels, bless you, over looking like you're going towards the pit. I think you can have 2 wheels, but I think in real life they get warned about that.
I decided to fight Pollen today, and Pollen is winning. But, you know, c'est la vie. Welcome to springtime. We'll try and collect ourselves here.
I was trying to think of something funny to come back to that, but just couldn't at this point in time.
I fought the lawn and the lawn won. I fought the lawn and the lawn won. Nothing?
It gets more painful every day.
That's all. That's all.
That was good. That was good.
Hey, it's only been what, 8.5 years of consistently seeing each other's face every single day.
Pretty much,
You're
yeah.
You're finally getting sick of it. So I mean, it's been a good run.
All the deltas tend to close. We need a stable cam just on this section of the track.
Just need a
Because-
director's mode.
I know. That's where you see all of the passing and a lot of DRS activations. Let me get them again here. Looks like, I don't know if Sharia is going to get him in the second one. So VTech going to slam through there. And Sui looks like he was considering it as well, but just runs out of time.
Hammered down for VTech through the DRS zone. Able to get past Sharia, move up into 11th. That Haas is cooking right now.
I also think it looks like Tino is closing on Scarenzi. I think he's going to have a good opportunity if he gets both of these corners right. Like you said, these are tricky. So going into an uphill and then it drops down just a little bit there, so you don't get as much steering as you would like out of the car.
Yeah, you're fighting the car, but if you find that perfect marriage, between man and machine through those 2 corners, you're going to be able to do what Tinel's doing right now under DRS. The McLaren gets past Aston Martin as we head into lap 7. We'll see if he can increase this interval to make it harder for Scarenzi, because we know that DRS zone number 2 is active right now. Scarenzi with the Jets. It's time for a little bit of payback. Is going to get past Tinel once again. Not able to make it happen. Both of these drivers are in it for the long haul. This is going to be the battle to watch for the time being, as Scott Palmer has a hearty, almost 3-second lead on the pack. Was able to just get away, as we've seen Scott Palmer do so many times this season. Just absolutely nail the start of the race, and pew, see ya. We'll see you at the line.
We'll see if that starts to change, because the drivers behind him will have DRS and are hopping each other. That's why this track is interesting DRS, where Tino was able to clearly cook past on the first one. It's a long section, and then Scarenzi took it back, but it is a shorter DRS section and a bit more of an angled turn at the very end of it. So it's a little more risky to take over at that point. Looks like Tino's not going to get it, though, on the first. Scarenzi staying on the inside, and much like, I think, Fernando defending against Checo, kept on the inside on that finish line straight. Make sure he gets the exit, but Tino now is going to go on through.
Is that strategy or just happenstance for Scarenzi?
I think in that case, it is a bit of strategy where you hold the inside, because even if you force the driver to pass on the outside, but you hope that he can't get in front of you before he has to turn in, because then he can't turn into you while you're on the inside. The only problem is if the person knows that, they can kind of hold back in the corner and then get a better exit because you dove to the inside early. You're not going to carry as much speed through the corner. It's all a mind battle.
We can head down to 11th place. VTech is getting close to Travis Scott's. We may have another overtake as VTech slowly claws his way up into 10th. Will he be able to make it into the front half of this pack? May not be able to do it here, but he will have another opportunity. Late on the brakes, try and catch some space here into turn 1 and 2. We'll see if this second DRS zone will be any more help to get the Haas. To get the Haas past this Alpha. Here he goes. Will it be enough? Yes, as he heads into the inside line, Travis Scott yields, and the Haas is now up into 10th place. Another wonderfully clean overtake by VTech, a man on a mission. That car is exactly honed in where he needs it to be tonight. Take a look at any of the other intervals. Sui may also have an opportunity to get past Travis Scott's. On the backside, Scavney also closing in on Shreya Coleslaw a bit further down in the pack. We do have some close battles, but you're definitely starting to see some pockets of drivers pull away from one another, but this has still been a 1-2 second race. Scarenzi getting by Tinel once again. Lancy, Chuck Blazing swapping places as well. And there we saw Scavney was able to get past Shreya Coleslaw. Just needed a bit of DRS assistance to get up into 13. It's lap 10 of 36 here in Brazil, week 8 of season 12. We are in Division 1 racing action here tonight on Nick and Mitch. Thanks for joining us if you're joining us live. And if you're not, thanks for taking the time to click on that link, watch a short little ad, and get to the action. Sweet Travis Scott's going back and Parsec just popped for a sec, right as Travis and Sweet went back and forth. But you can hear me, right? 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you now. Yes.
Beautiful. For better or for worse, you can hear me.
Yes.
Wow, Sweet able to just pull away from Travis Scott's there. 6, 7 tenths. Trying to find that 1 second, but under DRS, almost impossible. Travis Scott's, will he be able to take a go here into turn 1? Will not have enough, but he'll have another chance here. You've heard this one before. Into turn 3. Out of turn 3. Houdini is the first one to jump into the pits. Down in 19th now. We'll see if that was a bit of damage or that was swapping just a pure tire swap. Houdini may have been on softs. But that will also help. I mean, not just Houdini's early pit, but Mac is up into 16th after that early spin out. Dropped down quite a bunch from the start of the race from that spin, but is slowly making his way back up through the back part of the pack. We're on board still with Travis Scott's as he tries to close the gap to VTech, but VTech is out and away. Now he has his sights set on GSR Caesar.
He's got a couple of drivers pushing on the back of him. Scavney, Sui, Shreya Coleslaw. Nikki all closing in behind. Looks like Scavney's able to get past. But man, that could have been like 3 or 4 drivers that passed him on that straight.
Yeah, this is a fun DRS train that we have going right here. We'll see. They go wheel to wheel. Travis Scott's not enough. Scavney's still going to hold on to 11th. As he has, look at this, just bearing down on him. Sweet. Travis Scott's switch spots. Wow. It is still Scavney atop this pack.
This is a wild DRS train for a track like this. So I'm hoping that all of the drivers can keep it clean. It is a wide enough track to do so, but there's just going to be so many passing opportunities. We saw him almost go 3 wide in the last one. It looks like it's going to bunch up behind Sharia Coleslaw right now.
Yeah, hop down to Sharia, hop down to Travi, because those two are just battling back and forth through 3 turns. Travi and Sharia definitely duking it out. And just as I say that, Swede gets ahead of Scavney down the finish straight to start lap 13. The Aston Martin will best the AlphaTauri for now, as Nicky's Williams gets by Travis Scott's.
Yeah, I love seeing a flying V formation sometimes. Looks like
Cautions,
the plums. Is that who's getting cautioned? Hello. Who knows?
Okay, all right. We had a bunch of yellows going there for a minute, but thankfully no safety car deployed, meaning whatever happened, they fixed it. They picked themselves up and kept on going. Our top 4 right now, well, our podium got Palmer, Scarenzi, and Tinel in that order. It stayed fairly consistent, barring the overtake from Scarenzi on Tinel's McLaren early on in the race. They have been holding true. It's got Palmer now above 4 seconds, going for 5.
So we also have Edwin and Callie Robb joining this party, so it's going to be a big one. Look at all the changes down here. It is because Sharia Coleslaw is going into the pits. Never mind, I got excited.
Welcome back to the stream. A little late, executive producer Coach Bob. YouTube is awesome in that you can go back if you want to rewatch it. You got to do a little scrubbing. You could watch the intro and then hop back to live action if you so choose. It was a good one. It was solid. I'm gonna pat myself on the back
at the end.
Yeah, we make it easier at the end, but if you want to fight for it now, by all means. Oh, happy birthday to my soon-to-be cousin-in-law, Frankie.
Aw.
Yeah. I didn't text him, but I'll send him the stream. I'll send him the stream and say, I shouted you out.
I feel like
He'll go.
It's my dad's birthday today, too, and I think he knows someone else that it says, yeah, it's a popular birthday.
Oh, man. Hey, happy birthday, Dave.
You hit up the Cheesecake Factory, so if I've been yawning a lot, so
let's go.
Hoping to make it through the end of this.
What's your go-to Cheesecake Factory dish?
I'm not going to get the meat. Oh, dish. I thought it was cheesecake. I usually get the Cuban sandwich.
Oh, the Cuban is
and then great. The Oreo Dream Extreme cheesecake.
Oh, I remember what cheesecake I got last time. I think I got like carrot cake or something. Carrot cake cheesecake.
Their carrot cake is good.
It was really, really good. Yeah. I also got one of the chicken dishes, whatever top dish they have there. It was amazing. This stream brought to you by the Cheesecake Factory, not Nat.
Not Nat, but if you sign up for their rewards club, you are eligible to make a reservation and you get a free slice on your birthday.
Whoa, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is fight tooth and nail to get through the crowd at a Cheesecake Factory on my birthday.
It was like empty today. It was scary.
Oh, good.
Like the whole entrance, there was no one waiting.
No one's working. Yeah. We walked in the back and heated up our own dishes. The last time we went was on Easter Sunday, and I really thought that it was going to be dead because growing up, Easter Sunday was always cooking at home with family. But different families have different traditions, and some families don't even celebrate Easter. Cheesecake Factory was packed on Easter Sunday. I thought we were playing it slick, going on a holiday. No, it was the worst decision I've ever made. And we were seated next to the open windows next to the casino. It borders a casino. So we were getting that awful casino like stale smoke just wafting over our table. It was an experience. We've gone through the first wave of pit stops here during our little digression. But as we take a look, everyone has switched to the harder compounds, swapping those softs for the longer stint on the back half of today's race. Yeah, Easter is an elite holiday.
That's interesting. I don't hear that a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the Christian religious spectrum, Easter should be the biggest holiday. It is the biggest holiday over Christmas. But in capitalism, Christmas trumps. Here we go. Got Palmer still on pole. DSR Edwin is in second place now. Scarenzi, after that pit stop, is back in 7th. But that top grid is all running old tires, so Scarenzi will be back in the mix here shortly. Just stay tuned. All that will play out here in just a few laps' time. Yeah, Easter? I don't know. Easter's not my favorite just because it's during spring with all of the pollen. So usually I'm fighting back like a red nose, and it looks like I was doing illicit class Schedule A drugs, Schedule 1 drugs. Like while I was like at church in a suit.
You just sensed pollen instead.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It's right after my birthday. So I'm getting gifts. I get my mom to make me an apple pie. I get to eat 4 plates of everything. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. What about you? Top holiday?
I'm thinking about
Boxing Day?
I'm trying to do mental calculations as well with
Tino back up in a second.
Scarenzi, because everyone else above him hasn't taken their pit stop yet.
Right.
So I think it's probably going to come out the same, where it's going to come out like second behind Got Palmer. That's a good question. I don't know. Kind of like Christmas.
The pastels do go hard. Ellie, not wrong.
Yeah. It's got unique colors, I'll give it that.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas is a fun one.
Might be just for the music.
Oh, I mean the music and like the magic. Like it's as we get older
And
the
the
magic.
Hallmark movies.
Oh yeah, like just the cheese. It's all about the cheese. Yeah, as we get older, like the magic gets closer and closer to Christmas. But I've still, last couple of days. Once you leave work on Christmas Eve, you're like, okay, now I can enjoy it. And it does come back. The music does go stupid hard. Scarenzi up into 5th now, past GSR Caesar on those old tires. Maybe this will be the lap that we see the Mercedes head in as he begins to lose time. Keep an eye out.
Yeah, 18 laps on medium tires, so they're going to go halfway. Are some of them going to go soft? That would be quite intriguing if they do so. And at the same time, Scarenzi's already gained 3 seconds on the leader. So he could come out in front of them on those hard tires if they're waiting a couple more laps for softs.
Did we see... God.
Of course, they would have a good speed advantage, but yeah, that was the end of the thought.
Yeah, 16 laps remain here as we are definitely on the back half of today's race. Yeah, I don't know how long we saw the hards last in the first stint. If they were able to make it to 16. We'll see.
I think they could take this soft 16 laps. At this point, I don't know why they wouldn't have stopped for hards. Although Edwin, oh no, he's still in the pit. He also picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now we did see, I think the last race we did in Division 1, someone picked up a speeding in the pit lane. But
Yeah,
their
and it was
onboard,
revoked.
yeah, their onboard showed that everything on their end looked completely clean. The caution flag out too.
Caution in Sector 2. Looks like that may
The
be...
white cars. It's Mac.
Yeah, it is
Parked
Mac.
it
I was just going to say Mac was back up into the mix in the middle of the pack, but still really just, taking in all of what Brazil has to offer in terms of grass. What is the grass? What is the species of grass here at Interlagos?
Is there a difference? Is it like golf where...
Is there a difference? Excuse me.
No,
are you talking
yes.
in relation to the vehicles?
Yes.
That I probably, but
Trust
I don't
me,
know.
I know you know grass, but
I mean,
there's different grass in golf, and that affects the putting speed and the length.
Yeah.
And how thick it is.
Yeah, sure. I would assume that, a rough cut would be more detrimental than, a really sharp, like Bermuda grass cut like a golf course. I don't know. And does that, is that taken into account, or are they just like, grass is grass is grass? Just don't hit it. Some tracks have
probably
sand.
that. I think you just don't want to touch grass with
grass.
with a car.
Correct. Yeah. Unsurprisingly, nothing showing up on Google when I search what is the grass type used at Interlagos. No one
have to make some calls.
No one really cares. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just. Well, we're gonna have to write it off as a business expense and go to Brazil to check it out ourselves. Well, there it is. 3 drivers opting for soft tires. One of them in the pits right now. It's Lancey as he rejoins the pack. But Tinel, his teammate, and Gott Palmer, our pole sitter at the start of this thing, all opting for soft tires. Scarenzi up in first place now. There's a 5-lap difference between their tires and 2 compound difference between them as well. We'll see what Gott Palmer can do with just under 2 seconds to go before he catches up to the Aston Martin out in front. Gott Palmer going to have to do some work here, but he does have the tire advantage. So we'll see if he can push the limit of the tires without going over with just over how much fast math 14 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, fastest time, just set that down. He was setting all 3 sectors. I think he was, I think other 2 sectors, but yeah, just cruising out there. He's already in DRS zone. He's going to get past quick. The only question is, will that taper off at the end quicker than it does for Scarenzi?
Coach Bob saying Thanksgiving for the food, Christmas for the gifts, Easter for the candy. Thanksgiving for the drinks, Christmas for the drinks, Easter for the drinks.
Just saying, what about Halloween for the candy?
Yeah, Halloween is goated for the
also
candy.
Christmas with Andy's Mints.
What? You associate Andy's Mints with Christmas time?
Yeah, we used to put those. No, we put those on our advent calendar.
What?
Yeah,
that was your treat in the morning. Was a mint disguised as
Andy's
candy.
Mints.
I do love Andy's candies.
Is he gonna knock me for all that? Although I will say those like Hershey chocolate eggs or the Cadbury chocolate eggs.
Oh yeah,
those are impeccable.
Cannot beat them. Yeah, that's definitely an Easter staple there. That's
I get sick on those every year.
One of Katie's favorites, but she doesn't do the cream filling. She does the caramel filling. And those ones
not the smaller ones that have like the M&M coating on them.
Oh, you're talking about the malted.
I think so.
Like the ones that have like the dry inside. They're not chewy.
Yes.
Yeah, malted eggs. Those are amazing.
Cadbury hard shell eggs.
Oh. What am I talking about?
I feel like you do not know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
This is also the middle of a race.
Yeah. Talking about like a Jordan Allman. All right, yeah, sorry. I digress. I'm slowly learning through Facebook chat that Ellie and Scarenzi and Nick and Katie would get along very, very well. We have the Monsteras. We have similar religious backgrounds. Scott Palmer going fastest once again.
Almost 3 wide, too, going down this streak between Tino, Edwin, and Callie Robb, all battling for that final podium spot. Tino's 5.5 seconds behind Scarenzi, and he might be on soft and Edwin on medium. There's a bit of a mix there. So that's going to be a bit harder to catch up when the three of them are all battling.
Katie's favorite holiday is also Halloween. All right, I'm off of the holiday stuff. Yeah, 3 wide here for third, for the fight for third. Definitely eyes on GSR Edwin with that egregious 5-second hit limit, speeding limit penalty. But again, that may be another Cody's error, so we're going to have to see how that shakes out at the end of the race. For right now, GSR Edwin just has to push as hard as he can, as if that black and white is nowhere near his name. Callie Robb under DRS for a minute, but just lost it there. We'll see who can catch Tino. And we all love pie. Yeah, come on! Next time you're in DC or Baltimore, shoot me a message. We'll go get pie, and we'll go to the Spirit Halloween store, and we'll go to Plants Alive in Upper Maryland.
That is the weirdest.
It's the perfect date. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it is somehow, but it's just like
perfect date day. I don't know what you're saying.
Like an alien visiting Earth, and you need to give them every holiday experience in 24 hours.
Checking out MMR Cynical, looking to overtake VTech. Well, there you go. If the pit limits wouldn't get him first, the multiple warnings for track limits definitely will. GSR Edwin now racking up 8 total seconds pending review, but 8 seconds on his finishing time is starting to get up there.
I was wondering if he had served it or not, because sometimes you can in the pit. Travis Scott also has 8 seconds, and that's going to put him down. But Mac has retired from the session, a DNF. Sometimes that brings out a safety flag. I do not know where he was on the track.
Looks like he is stopped on the start-finish straight. Right about...
His car is driving.
Let's take a look. Going down into turn 1, we're going to see Mac's car somewhere right around there is where it's showing up on the map. Okay.
Is it... I wonder if he dropped from the session.
Is this maybe just a disconnection? Okay.
For some reason, the pit lane has been throwing up weird caution flags now.
No, there he is. There he goes.
Whoa.
Really slogging on the back straight there.
So I think that car is just putting him like in front of everyone, too.
Yeah, everyone having some evasive maneuvers. We still don't have a safety car, but we have a car just putzing on track. There we go. Looks like he has run wide. Down in the bottom here. Let's take a look. I still don't see him.
He's gone now.
Where is he?
Well, that was weird.
That was weird. No caution flag. We are still racing. Only 12 laps to go.
No, you had it right the first time. 8 laps.
8 laps to go. I failed math multiple times. I still count on my fingers. Beyond 10 is a stretch for me. Travis Scott's taking a very wide out there. Nikki and Tria Coleslaw taking the advantage up into lap 29 for the pack. What am I talking about? Lap 28. If I mentioned that I failed math multiple times, I still have a degree and I have a full-time job, but I definitely failed math multiple times.
Well, I mean, it was music, so you had to know how to divide by like 4 and 5.
Fours.
And 6 at most.
Nailed it. Yeah, but
So.
I was fine. I could count up to 64.
Yeah.
Basic fractions, easy.
And by count to 64, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Correct.
7, 8, 3, 2, 3. So you're not actually counting to 64.
Yeah, hell yeah. I was actually sent to the principal's office one time because I was fed up in geometry, and I stood up and said, when am I ever going to use this in a real life scenario? Can you give me a real life scenario, because the one in the book is ridiculous? And she said, you need to sit down and do the problem. And I said, no, I refuse. We have a spun Aston Martin of Swee as he tries to catch up to Caesar and VTech. He just hits it a wee bit too hard as he tries to rejoin the pack without losing too many spots. Really dangerous there in turn 1, really cutting the times and the speed of Sharia and Travis Scott's behind him. But thankfully, no collision, no flag. Swee is able to safely re-enter and will swiftly be overtaken by these two cars, as he rightfully should.
I think even our thoughts are cursed, because I was about to mention how this has been good for Aston Martin with getting Sui in the top 10, and he was in DRS zone of 9 and 8, so could have moved up even more, and Scarenzi currently in second. And Sui does spin out. He is able to recover, though, thankfully, so still in 14th. Could make that spot back, I think. Jump
Definitely.
over Coleslaw in 13th, but then a big gap after that, 5.5 seconds with just 6 laps to go.
Yeah, he was on a heater. He had really great pace. It was just a wee bit too much. Takes, too much of the outside line. And then, once the brakes lock up, it's pretty much all she wrote. Takes a bit of a pirouette off the track into the runoff. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, I had, from playing F1 with some of the assists and playing it on console, like, not nearly as fast as these guys. And then I went to, in iRacing, I tried the F4 car.
Ooh, yeah.
And I could not get a single turn without locking up at least 2 of the tires. So I can't imagine what it's like to be this competitive and not lock up the tires. Because every time I touched that brake, I just lost all steering.
Yeah. I still don't understand how to maneuver a Formula car with no assist. It's an enigma.
And I'm sure you get used to it, but to do it without ever messing up, like some of the guys who are in the podium every week, is just crazy.
Well, I mean, and you can see the difference as well. These drivers are not just picking it up. Well, as far as I would like to believe, they're not just picking it up, every Thursday. VTech and MMR Cynical now doing the dance here in Sector 1. They're practicing throughout the week, and they're running laps on these tracks throughout the weeks to get a feel of it. We've seen a few different times drivers saying, I haven't touched the console in 2 weeks. Let's see how I do. And they finish in like the bottom 5, like Scarenzi for, bad example, but top drivers can finish dead last if they don't get enough practice time or don't follow their routine to a T. So, this is a lot of repetition along with just pure skill.
Looks like T-Nell is just starting to flirt with the DRS zone with Scarenzi. Just getting under that second gap. But I think that's not going to kick him until next lap. And then what we're watching right here between Scavney, Cash App, and Cynical, or just Cash App and Cynical, Edwin picking up another 3-second time penalty.
Rack him up at this point.
Might as well, but that's...
See how many you can get.
That's what now? I think 11 seconds?
Or, yeah.
11 seconds. 29. That's only 2 positions for him to drop. Not awful, but I mean, you never want to drop positions like that.
Right. VTech Cynical still going back and forth now. Yeah, T-Nell solidly under the DRS interval. 7:10's back. Could be catching Scarenzi here in the next couple of laps. 3 to go. Could we see a last-minute overtake by Tino to secure a second-place podium finish? Could be very reminiscent of the other 2 races that we have covered on the channel here in Brazil. Now, if you're Tino, do you push now and try to get the advantage 3 laps to go, or are you going to sit back, hold this interval, and at the last minute, hope and pray that that last DRS push is what you need?
I don't know, because those tires are on lap 12 of softs, so I don't think they're going to die, but I think you don't want to be making some drastic move at the last second. So I don't know. Yeah, I think on this lap, if he can hold this current delta, he's going to have a good opportunity going down the first straight. But he's got to get it done early, because I wouldn't want to be slamming on the brakes at the last second.
Right.
And that's something Scarenzi can try and bait him to do.
Well, here
I
we go.
If Scarenzi might go inside here.
You'll see Scarenzi hugging the out, giving Tino the stretch. Tino will take second place for now, but like Mitch said, it is a pair of quickly degrading soft tires against hards. So Scarenzi does have the upper hand right now. And Coach Bob saying he would pick the push and defend strategy. Push hard, get the lead, and then defend. But yeah, I'm not sure in terms of tire deg, is defending or, pushing or fighting? Which one?
I think
has the upper hand? Defending, right?
Yeah, I think in this case defending, because those soft tires should still build up a bit more of the gap, and then you would either coast or brake a bit early into the corners, because as long as you're ahead, Scarenzi's not going to make a last second move. So you would try to almost slow down a little bit early so that you can take off early. It might be a little bit easier to do so. Scarenzi's got a good opportunity here, though, with the DRS.
Sure does, but he is not going to take it here in the first stretch. We are in lap 35, penultimate lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. As we head through turn 3 into the second DRS zone, Scarenzi poised to overtake. Will he take the opportunity? He won't. He is going to take that strategy of waiting behind Tino, and presumably in the next lap, we are going to see Scarenzi just push all out to get past this McLaren back up into second place.
I think he might try to wait until the last DRS to cross the finish line to try and do this. Otherwise, he can push right up on Tino and try to get him to make a mistake on those old tires.
Chuck Blazing also with a fairly close interval back in 7th, but the race is definitely here for the podium. Tino, bit of a brake check there on Scarenzi as we head into DRS activation. Scarenzi closing. Scarenzi overtaking up into second once again goes the Aston Martin. We are on the final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix, week 8 of season 12 racing here. Midwest eSports Formula One action on Nick and Mitch. It is Scott Palmer with a sizable 5-second. Is that 5 or 6?
6 second.
6 second, a sizable 6 second lead on the pack, followed by Scarenzi, Tino, Cali Rob, Lancy, GSR Edwin, and the rest. I'd love to say everyone's name, but it does get a bit redundant.
What do you think here? Scarenzi trying to separate, but Tino's going to have that last second effort. I'm almost surprised that Scarenzi did the overtake that early. But
yeah, I would have saved it, with how close he was. I definitely would have saved it for the last.
This one's a bit tricky though too, because the overtake, the pass tends to happen right at that finish line.
Yep. Now Tino needs to be under 5, under half a second, and it doesn't look like he's going to have it here. As we go across the line, Scott Palmer takes victory once again in Brazil It is Scarenzi and Tinel just behind him with a little love tap down into turn 1. Your top 3 is set. Got Palmer, Scarenzi, and Tinel. A valiant effort by Scarenzi and Tinel throughout that entire race. Callie Robb taking 4th place, just missing that podium finish. And now as the rest of the pack crosses the line, I do want to say thank you to our stewards here in Division 1. Commissioner Porkchops, once again, Lancey is racing today, so he is omitted. And Knuckles is our head D1 steward for Season 12. Thank you very much. Not sure how much work you're going to have following today's race. It was fairly clean, other than a few Cody penalties that came down the line. So we're going to see how those play into today's race, as GSR Edwin did not finish. Thus is.
What happened there?
Well, how? Okay, so 11 seconds. They just said, yeah, no, you're done. You're done. Goodbye. Cody's blocked him out of the race. Scavney, the replacement driver for Alpha Tauri, will take away driver of the day. Congratulations, Scavney, and thank you for playing up in Division 1 here this week. There you go, your top 3. Another wonderful race by Gott Palmer. He was able to take pole position here today in Brazil. And that will be his... Oh, gotta scroll. Gotta catch up. Oh, what are we doing here? That will be only his 2nd win on the season. His only other one was week 2 in Hungary. So Gott Palmer back on the board here in week 8 to join Mackey and Scarenzi, the only 3 drivers who have seen a victory here in Season 8. Wonderful drive, clean drive. Unfortunate that we saw Max spin so many times. You could tell that there was a lot that he has. He always has a lot to offer. That Haas always making a name for itself. He was able to get back close to his starting grid position of 6th place, but then swiftly lost it again on the inside of one of the runoffs. So an unfortunate day there for Mac, but other than that, everything was pretty clean.
There we are.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was a clean, quick race. 10:44 was when we crossed the finish line. Might be the earliest we've had this season, maybe all the time that we've done. It's not a single safety car. Pretty prompt qualifying and starting of the race.
Yeah, I was going to say, the last few races, I believe last week also finished fairly early, and we had a couple of safety cars in Division 2. So, yeah, these races flying by. I mean, hey, time flies by when you're having fun. It's always, admittedly, it's always a slog to get the stream started. But by the end of it, I'm awake, I'm ready to go, and I don't fall asleep until like close to 2 a.m. So that was a wonderful way to start my night shift here tonight. Wonderful win. Congratulations, Gott Palmer and the rest of the team. Alpine continues their dominancy in the points, and the drivers as well. So yeah, Gott Palmer just carrying Alpine to an early victory here. We're going to see if they can hold on to that for the last few races on the season. Are we back in D1 next week?
Good question.
It's in Miami. Or is the Ferrari going to be blue?
You're gonna pop it. The Ferrari's going to be blue.
In F123?
Oh, in the game?
Oh, no, I know in real life it's atrocious, but I'm saying the game may release a special.
Oh, it's beautiful. That
is such a wild livery. Like, just like the cigarette livery that McLaren had last year, that I would be shocked if the game did not offer that as a weekly challenge.
We'll see. We're in 3 next week.
We're in D3. Okay, so we will be taking a slight dip down into D3 next week, and we will be back with you for D1 action in... why is my scroll wheel? Everything's breaking. I'm trying to host a stream. In Belgium, Spa, that's right, is when we will be back for the legends of speed here up in Division 1. So thank you very much for joining us live this week for Week 8 of Season 12. Formula 1 Division 1 Racing, MidWest eSports, thank you for allowing us to host these streams on a weekly basis. Again, congratulations to Hotspot, who had to relinquish tonight's Division 1 broadcast because he was living out a childhood dream. Hope you had a wonderful time. It looked like a great event. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. You do the outro. Sorry, I've been riffing. Boy,
you're just going to toss this on to me. Special thanks goes out to our YouTube members, executive producers Bone Crusher 2D, Coach 34, and my mom, co-producers Captain Snowbeard, Kilovepa, and Kirsten, and our fans and fans plus. You want to become a member, it helps support the channel. We get a little bit of monthly revenue that we put into the graphics and licensing all of the music from these and our backlogs and pretty much everything else that we change. And you get early access to some videos, emojis, badges, other member stuff. It's all down there. If not, you can subscribe as well. It'll pop up during the stream. Play everyone's favorite notification here during the race.
I kind of like leaning back listening to this.
Yeah,
at the end. It's nice.
See how far you go next time. We'll make Bill Wuxton do it one time.
Oh boy, yeah, that would be an absolute treat. Yeah, be sure to subscribe, stay up to date on everything that's going on the channel. It's pretty much just F1 at this point. But we may make a return to our X Games careers. All in good time. But you will be the first to know if you subscribe. So please click that button. It helps us. It helps you. It helps everybody. Yeah, that's going to do it. That's all she wrote. From Brazil. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. We will see you in 2 weeks' time when we return to Spa. I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
Have a wonderful night. I'll see you soon.